everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. I'm jumping straight into today's video with nail prep, doing my non-dominant hand today. We will be creating a peel off base coat. After I had applied cuticle oil, I am going to go in with this top coat that is dedicated for all my peel off base coat sets, and I will be applying this in the lamp for 30 seconds. To adhere my nail tips, I will be using a gel X lamp and base coat, and I'll also be using my stiletto nail tips today. Before I blend my tips with the nail, I did want to show you the RPM that I used for when I do this. So I usually have it at 6 RPM or a little bit higher, and it really is all down to your preference. And I do hold the barrel as best as I can with my non-dominant hand, and it's best to just have the RPM at a speed that you can tolerate, but you just definitely don't want it too slow either. So 6 is comfortable for me, and I'll be blending the tip with the nail using the sanding band, and I'll do that on the entire nail. This is really great for when you do application. You don't want the tip seeping through when you do apply any of the polygel. Now that we're done, I will be applying base coat on the entire nail, and I'll be curing this in the lamp for 30 seconds as well. For today's polygel, we will be using this color from Model 1's. It's one of my favorite nudes. I'll also be using alcohol as my slip solution. I feel that alcohol is the best slip solution to use, and it is affordable. Now, when it comes down to doing your non-dominant hand, you definitely want to take your time. As you can see, I am taking my time patting in the polygel, and I'm making sure that everything is covered. When it comes to stiletto tips, you do want to just make sure that you have enough polygel. Some people like to work in one bead when it comes to stiletto tips, and you can do the same as well. It all goes down to your personal preference. But as you can see, I'm spreading the polygel on the entire nail, making sure the nail tip is covered, the free edge is covered, my side walls are not blowing out either, and I'll drag that all the way down to the cuticle as much as I can. I'm not going to get close to it at all because I like to add a cuticle bead. But the very key from working with your non-dominant hand is taking your time. Just make sure you're absolutely taking your time, especially when you're doing your non-dominant hand. You don't want to rush, only because it's a lot harder to use your non-dominant hand if you're not used to it. So as you can see, I'm really taking my time, making sure that everything is blended and everything is smooth. I'm also going to have the application for the thumb in real time just so you can see exactly what I'm doing and my technique for when I do my non-dominant hand. And another tip too, when you are starting out, when you are doing your non-dominant hand, is to kind of just let go of any expectations. Don't be too hard on yourself, and don't expect for your hand to look identical to your dominant hand. I just think that you should just make sure that you're just getting the foundation as great as you possibly can, which is also what I do. I always make sure that my application at least looks pretty decent, hence why I say to take your time, because you do want to make it look as close as you can. It's not ever going to look exactly the same. I did cure that first layer in the lamp for 60 seconds, and now I'm going in with my cuticle bead. And as you can see, I'm also being very careful with how I pat into the cuticle as well. I'm making sure I'm pressing into the cuticle, but not exactly on the skin. I do not want to flood it. And I'm also trying to make sure that I build a really great apex here as well. It is a little difficult building an apex with your non-dominant hand, but honestly, after a couple tries and lots of practice, you do get the hang of it. So here is how my application is looking. I am going to go ahead and wipe away the sticky layer from the Polygel using alcohol. So I also wanted to touch on cleaning your brush after you're done with using it. After application, I do typically like to make sure I clean off my brush with alcohol and a paper towel. And normally I'll make sure that I dry my brush really well and then apply a tiny bit of cuticle oil on it just because it is a Kolinsky sable brush. So we are now ready to begin filing. I do have my dust collector and I do like to use an 80 by 80 file to get the edges and make the nail a lot more crisp. Now for the surface of the nail, I do like to use a 100 grit file. I feel like this is not as harsh and I feel like it just really does a really great job. And I really do like these nail files. I feel like it does not exhaust my hand as much. And these are really affordable compared to the Panda nail files. I do like the Panda nail files and I do think they're worth the price only because I can get so many uses out of it. But I really do like these McCart nail files. If you do want to check them out, you can. I will have them linked in the description box. And this is not sponsored at all. This is just my honest and humble opinion. Now, when it comes to using the nail drill, once again, I do like it at 10 RPM and or 10,000 rotations per minute. And this is the speed that I'm comfortable with. Sometimes I do go a little higher. Sometimes I stay at 10. It really just depends on how I'm feeling. But again, be at a speed that you're comfortable with. For beginners, I will say 7 to 8 should be fine. I just am comfortable using 10. And for holding the barrel, make sure you still have it in the opposite direction than your dominant hand. So if you're using your left hand, you want it on reverse. And if you're using your right hand, you want to have it on forward. So that is what I have it on. You just want it on the side that has the most resistance. So now we're ready to begin gel art. I did mix top coat and black together because we are doing a chrome design, and I really do not feel like going over the black with top coat, nor do I have a non-wipe gel polish top coat gel polish either. So this is what we're gonna have to do, and this is the brush that I'm using today. I do like long brushes because long nail brushes, even if your hand is a little shaky, they really do like support a very straight and smooth lines. And again, when doing any type of nail art with your non-dominant hand, you do want to take your time, and again, just remind yourself that they're not going to look exactly the same. They're just going to look a bit identical, and that is the goal that you want to have, make them look identical. And if they don't look identical, that's not a problem either. You just have to keep trying until you do get it right. I don't suggest that you do any sort of designs right off bat if you are learning. So I would just stick to like solid colors and focus on your foundation and shaping if you are new to doing your non-dominant hand, because it can be a bit difficult. After I'd cured the gel in the lamp for 60 seconds, I will be going in with this silver chrome and rubbing that into the nail with a applicator sponge. And after I'm done applying the chrome, I do like to go in with a makeup sponge to remove the excess chrome powder, and this really does a great job at doing that. So make sure you have this, or you can use the opposite side of your applicator sponge if you don't have a makeup sponge on hand. Now I'm going to apply top coat on all of the nails, and I will be curing this in the lamp for 60 seconds, and this is before we do any type of 3D art. This is just my personal preference, and I like the way the 3D art looks, but if you want to do 3D art before applying top coat, go on right ahead. So I'll be using rhinestone glue today for the 3D art, and I do like applying the rhinestone glue that way because I feel like pouring it all into my mixing plate, I feel like I'll waste a lot more rhinestone glue, so I'd rather just keep everything on my brush and make the most use out of it. So here are how my nails turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I do love these nails. I love a stiletto, I love chrome, and I'm just obsessing over these nails. And honestly, I really feel like they came out better than my dominant hand. I did do my dominant hand for TikTok, and I really do like the way my non-dominant hand came out first. I feel like the chrome looks a lot better, and you honestly might surprise yourself doing your non-dominant hand. It may come out better. I do see it happens a lot for a lot of people, and I just feel like these are just perfect. I love stiletto nails. I haven't done them in so long, and I do like that a subscriber did mention for me to try out different nail shapes, so thank you for that as well. I have everything that I used linked in the description box. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you all in my next video.